Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Who is the creepiest, most unsettling person you've ever met?
Weird guy my friend felt bad for and invited him to a party. We were sitting around a fire, and he gets up and goes to his van, which was just a few feet away, gets a mallet and chisel, and started talking about how sweet it would be to split somebody's head open with it in between giggles. After about 5 minutes of him carrying on about the sounds it would make, and his pondering of how conscious someone could remain if he managed to not stir the brain too much, he got in his van and just left. Never saw him again, neither did my friend. Like he left the state or something. Weird sense of dread during that. Just a creepy feeling before something bad happens. I don't know, hard to describe, but my friend felt it too. Like a premonition of emotions telling us he was going to try to do it to one of us. Casually exposing my handgun during his try-hard spurg out may have made him consider otherwise.
Are ones that are concerning at the time, but then turn out to be funny aloud? They're nothing special, but I can tell two tales of nighttime encounters. Village is quiet at night, rarely see anyone out on foot other than pissheads walking home on weekends. It's divided into two halves by a wooded road, maybe 1/3 mile, that peaks in the middle for a railway bridge. Me and my bro go walking over the bridge at night pretty often. One night, on the way back, there's a guy hanging around on top of the bridge. He's not going anywhere, but he's moving like a zombie. Go to pass him, he says, "Do you know who this is?" trying to show us a picture on a phone screen. I'm immediately thinking, nice try. He's trying to get close and swing at me while I'm looking at the phone. Not falling for that. I watch him and tell him no. Apparently he found the phone in the bushes and wants to know the people in the background pics so he can return it. Lol, okay. We tell him we don't know them, saying random shit while zombieing about unsteadily, watching him warily and replying politely where appropriate. He keeps saying, "Smacked up like Tina Turner, me lad," during his ramblings. It eventually clicks that he means he's on smack. No wonder he's such a zombie. Lowell, he genuinely seems to be on a drug-fueled mission to return this phone he found on the roadside. He was doing smack in the next town down the road, and the smack den got raided by the police, so he ran off LOL. He wants to know which neighboring town to walk to sleep in. Both are about an hour's walk away for someone not on smack. Suggest he goes back to the one he was in before, and we go on our way. Tale 2. It's winter, so it goes dark at about 4 p.m. I get the bus to the town that Smackhead came from and maybe went back to go to a Muay Thai gym. It's dark, maybe 5:30. Some guy starts chatting to me on the bus, looks like a council estate kind of guy in a scruffy tracksuit, but friendly enough. Just asking me random stuff. I get off, have to walk across a huge car park and climb a fence to get to gym. He gets off too and walks with me, still friendly, says he's going that way too. We're crossing this car park in the dark. He eventually asks where I'm headed. I tell him I'm going boxing. He instantly decides he needs to go to the shop, actually, and walks off. Lowell, he was going to fight me, wasn't he?
Be me, late at night going home using public transport. Metro has problems and will stop before my destination, so I have to walk from the last stop. See old man, around 60 or so. He's looking at the map inside the Metro, looking confused. Go up to him and offer help. He's carrying 3 giant bags of stuff. Tells me he's headed to my city. Told him I could show him the way since we're both going the same way. Helping him carry his stuff along the way, he's thanking me. Talking about his bodybuilder brother, his wife, taxes, the usual. Speaks very broken English. Along the way, we meet a guy and a girl in the street. They help me carry his stuff. Turns out all the bags were filled with unsold food he collected to donate to a homeless shelter. Feel my humanity restored in a very shitty time in my life. Before leaving, in front of the people we just met, he pats me on the back and says, "Thanks, Anon." Realization hits. I never told him my name. Ask him to repeat himself, he just says, "Thank you." I tell all this to the girl while he's talking to the guy. She doesn't believe me, but she goes to ask the guy what my name is. Guy says he doesn't know, that we never told each other our names. Everybody heard him say my name, which is a foreign name, not even common in my own country. Never saw him since. I 100% believe he was some entity, maybe a wizard, I don't know.
This guy I was in rehab with always had the same facial expression, this weird half smile with eyes that seemed to look through you. When he was amused or thought something was funny, he never laughed or became animated, would just slowly smile bigger with the exact same eyes slightly showing his teeth. Walked around like he was an alien learning to walk like a normal human to blend in. Arms would sway in short, slow motions, would move at a slow but constant pace. Never saw him change his speed. Almost never heard him talk. When he did talk, it sounded very unnatural, and he would only utter a few, completely neutral words in the most unanimated way imaginable. Would wear completely random articles of clothing that didn't make any sense with the others. He wasn't intimidating, just very, very uncanny and strange.
I was at my local Circle K one time when this insane-looking guy walked in. He had manic darting eyes, really weird body language, filthy clothes, a dirty aura. I was really unnerved by him from the beginning, and I had a sinking feeling he would come harass me specifically somehow. I was at the side of the cashier's counter, filling out a lottery ticket. At that time, some interdimensional entity wouldn't leave me alone but kept telling me winning lottery numbers. Whole different story. As I'm at the side of the counter, he appears behind me silently. The cashier is in front of me on the other side of the counter. I'm basically trapped between the counter and this insane guy. The insane guy speaks with a voice that sounds like he hasn't drank water for days. His voice sounds like he's extremely dissociated. I seriously felt like I was going to die. The sense of doom was insane, especially because I'm a physically weak white woman. The insane man says, "Can you help me? Can you do me a favor? Can you help me? I need a favor." He's right behind me. I can't tell if he's talking to me or the cashier, and I'm too afraid to turn around. I look up to the cashier, and I feel that undeniable quiet before the storm feeling. At that moment, tons of police run in and yell for the guy to put his hands up. He starts running around all crazy, chips and trinkets going flying as he flails. They don't tase or shoot him, they just overpower him and handcuff him and take him outside to a car. I guess they were already looking for him. I asked the police what was going on, and all they said was, "He did something bad before coming in here." This is a small town, so it's rare for that many cops to be around. It was horrifying. It wasn't just regular crazy vibes, like deep spiritual sickness in this guy.
Spend the day with friends. At night, after screwing around town, I decide to head back home instead of sleeping over at my friend's place. Live near a secluded area of the town, connected only by poorly lit dirty roads surrounded by grass and trees. As I walk down the path, I spot a strange figure standing across the road. Approaching the only working light pole, I see an old woman staring at me in the middle of the dark. Don't recognize her from anywhere. Never saw her. We both death stare each other as I make my way past her. have the feeling she is following me. Fast walked past the frontal iron gate, locking it behind me. Got inside home, closed the door, and killed the living room lights. Keep watching the front gate through the glass panel of the door. A few seconds later, the woman steps in front of the gate, fiddling with the locks for a while, before walking away again into the dark road. Locked all the doors and windows from the house and went to sleep in the basement.
I had a flat tire in New Hampshire and my spare was also fucked. I thought I would be able to fix the spare. The nozzle was a little busted, so I went to a gas station air pump. There was this old guy from Wisconsin using it, but he saw I needed it more. He was an older man who definitely seemed to have a few screws loose. Of course, he was asking about my flat and the fucked spare tire. In the general conversation, he brought up the troubles when traveling, innocent enough, I thought. But when I was trying to fix the nozzle on my spare tire, I needed a pair of pliers, which I didn't have. He said something along the lines of, "Hold up, I have a special tool," and he pulled out a pair of surgical scissors that were neatly wrapped in plastic. I should have noped the fuck out, but I figured I might as well give it a try. As soon as I put my hands on those scissors, something felt off. It felt like I was holding the tool of a serial killer, and I had just put my own fingerprints on his murder weapon. What was even weirder was how he was trying to help me use them. Of course it didn't work, and I was pretty much stranded and out of options. I honestly think the only thing that saved me from becoming this psycho's next prey is the fact that at times I can also look crazy and unhinged.
Be me, 18. Parents tell me not to visit my friend's house in the countryside due to extreme winds and a predicted hailstorm. Was traveling there on my motorbike. Go to friends, chillin'. Power goes out. 30 kilometers per hour winds. Sit there for 2 hours smoking cigarettes in the dark. Decide fuck it. I'm getting us a bottle of bourbon. Leave on motorbike. Ride 20 minutes to liquor store. Store is closed. 15 minutes ride to the next store. Fuck it. JPEG. Ride to next liquor store. Obtain bourbon. Jump on motorbike with bourbon in backpack. All of a sudden, the sky goes dark and it starts pouring down, followed by chunky hailstones. Ride bike as carefully as I can. Insane winds are blowing my little 300 cubic centimeters motorbike to the left and right. Branches are falling from trees. Head up a long, sloping street 10 minutes away from my bros. Under a streetlight is an old man. Haven't seen a soul on the road, or in the streets the whole ride back. He's wearing a straw Venetian boater hat with a red ribbon, a button-up black-red vest with a long-sleeve button-up shirt beneath, black pants, black leather shiny shoes. Clock all of this in a split second as his face breaks into an evil, terrifying grin. His eyes lock on me as I ride past him, and his gaze follows me. Scream like a baby into my helmet. Make it home safe. Get chills thinking about it to this day. What the hell did I actually see? Also, the guy's hat was like pick-related.
I'm a nerdy dork who was going through a rough time and needed adventure. I started randomly hanging out at this sketchy, drug-fueled late-night bar. I found it funny because I didn't belong there. One night I'm very drunk and chatting with people I had started getting to know. The bar is getting close to closing, and this random young guy walks up to me and starts trying to get me to hang out with him afterwards. I keep trying to brush him off, but he keeps persisting. I just ignore him and he pulls his car up to the front and just leaves it idling, watching me. I'm like, whatever, fuck this. I head to the back of the bar to sober up for a bit. It starts pouring rain too, so I'm just waiting it out in the back area under cover. No one else out there. Dude pulls his car up to the back in the pouring rain, and he's just waiting and watching me. It lasted a while, but I just kept waiting till he left. Another time I was driving hours home on the highway. It's about midnight, and I pull over at a rest stop to stretch. Not another single person around. I notice across the entire parking lot a person getting out of their car and watching me. I'm just chilling and waiting a minute, and I notice him start walking in my direction. I'm somewhat stunned 'cause WTF, and put my hand in my pocket acting like I have a knife or something, and he walks right by me in front of my car and gives me a head nod. Sketched me out and I dipped out of there. I think he wanted to Chris Chan me or some shit. I stay away from sketchy situations these days.
First time in the psych unit, cannabis-induced psychosis. Met a 40-something dude in there. Always had this empty grin and those soulless eyes. Told me he was a tweaker, ended up in the state hospital for drilling a hole in his own skull. Thought that it would be a cool way to one-up everyone with tattoos, piercings, etc. My stepbrother dubbed him DrillBit Taylor. Smokers were given these smokeless nicotine inhalers, taught me how to break them open, extract the nicotine pellet, put it in your mouth and get a main line of that sweet, sweet nicotine. I tried it, but it just kinda made me sick, so I stopped using them entirely. After that, he started asking me to get mine for the day and give them to him. Yeah, it might not sound like much, but the dude was a creep.
Be me, about 16 to 17. Live in apartment complex with a gym room. Be working out at the gym late one night. Just me and whatever music I was listening to. Through the Fire and the Flames.mp3. In the middle of my workout when a guy walks in and starts using the treadmill slowly. He had scruffy, raven black hair and deep, sunken eyes. He wore a grey sweatshirt and black pants. I don't know what it was, but his presence filled me with an unqualifiable amount of dread. Like, you are going to die if you stay another second in the room with this man. Dread. Something about him just made me feel like he was about to snap any minute, and if he did, he'd take it out on me. Finish my set, pack up, and get going back home. Swear to God he was staring at me from the moment I started packing up until the moment I left. Not the scariest story, I'm aware, but I just had an insane pit in my stomach over what seemed to be some normal guy. Was he an actual threat, or was my brain just fucking with me?
When I was in the ER a few years ago, one of the porters was this young, tall, slim, good-looking blonde man. He looked about 19 or 20. He had a kind of dark vibe to him. I guessed he was one of those dark, triad, Machiavellian types. I was on my phone and he came right up to me and said in this extremely calm, authoritative voice, "Give me your phone." I just kind of stared at him for a moment, then laughed nervously, and he looked right at me with these psycho stare blue eyes and said again, in an angrier voice, "Phones aren't allowed here. Hand it over now." At that point, I genuinely thought he was serious and I felt scared, so I kind of held my hand out and he snatched my phone off me and shoved it in his pocket, then silently started pushing the trolley towards the X-ray department. After an awkward silence, he just kind of laughed offhandedly, then took my phone out of his pocket and gave it back to me. He muttered something about people these days being so stupid or gullible. It was the first time I felt like I was being hypnotized into doing something I didn't want to. It sounds pretty tame and could have just been an innocent prank, but looking back at it, I really felt like this guy had a dark energy about him. I felt like he was some kind of psychopath, brushing up on his manipulation skills. I watched him for a while, and his body language was so laid back and arrogant. Yet he was staring and watching everyone that walked by very intensely, picking up on their every move. I have met psychopaths before, and the thing that united them was how eerily calm yet intense they are. They all had that laser beam stare. It kind of makes me think how easy it must be for good-looking psychopaths to manipulate their victims.
A doctor. My now ex booked me an appointment to see a doctor at some weird place. I forget what for, but it was a good drive. And then when I got there, outside was unassuming. But you go in and get a strong Eastern medicine vibe. I was the only white person there. Everyone else Asian, and no one spoke English except the one counter person and the doctor I saw. So I get called back, and this guy sits me on his table and just stares into my eyes. Then proceeds to tell me a bunch of shit about myself and what I was going through at the time that I can't make sense of today. He prescribes me some stuff and sends me on my way, but not before telling me to call my girlfriend. I called her as soon as I got back in the car, and a dude answered, and that's how I found out she was cheating. Ex now.
On my way home from a relative's funeral, cousin ended himself when his wife was threatening to take the kids. He had gambling debts and hanged himself. Extremely odd events for our family. Her family were a bunch of crushed face shits. He picked the wrong woman, I guess. Thinking this sort of crap at a bus stop on the way home, I was absently patting my pockets looking for a lighter. I saw but did not notice a lady in her 50s helping a disabled dude into a taxi nearby. She saw the way I was moving, saw the cig in my hand, said shirt pocket as she fixed me with these pale blue eyes. From my point of view, it seemed as if I reached into my shirt pocket, looked at the lighter in my hand, and wondered how it got there. This witch had already waddled off, with her giant gray afro and pale eyes. While I was so lost in selfish misery, she managed to see and notice my body language and what I needed without even breaking pace helping a crippled person into a cab. I think of her when I read threads here with people calling each other names and being childishly mean. How I will never have that sort of awareness, care, and thoughtfulness to help people as I'm helping people. Everywhere she goes, she must have love and care just falling off her like radiation, while most people are busy being nasty and trying to snap some ego scraps from some other snappy shithead. Her sight and competence seemed like magic to me, so far beyond what I can do or what I've ever seen people do. They walk among us, these elders, barely noticed, never valued. Every narcissistic bullying gangster shitbag has probably benefited from their awesome, and without shame, they just keep on keeping on.
Standing in a line at Starbucks on campus. Guy comes up to me who I have never seen. Hey, Anon. He calls me by my name, to my face. I'm bad with recognizing faces, so I assume he knows me from a class. Small talk for a few seconds, then I ask, "Where do I know you from?" "Field hockey." "I never played field hockey." I tell him I never played field hockey. Find out he claims to know me from high school. He went to a different high school. Tell him I have no idea who he is talking about. Never see this guy again after this interaction. Felt off the rest of the day. Either someone gave this guy my name to play a joke on me, or there is someone with my exact face and name within 50 miles of me. So identical to me, this guy couldn't tell that I was not him. And he has my name. really creeped me out. But I've told myself someone was just trying to mess with me.
Had a run-in as well while walking my dog in my rural area at around midnight. Walking along the perimeter of our property against the dense brush that threads through 4 properties including ours. Neighbor has a fenced-in area for animals on the edge of the brush about 250 feet wide before an empty sloped clearing. Dog sniffing away in the corner where the brush meets the neighbor's fence. Feel like I'm being watched, so I'm scanning around to rationalize it away. For some reason, focus on the clearing beyond my neighbor's animal pen. Something is moving in circles just out of sight, obscured by the neighbor's pens. It starts moving towards the brush, probably a deer. Sound of heavy footsteps is steadily approaching our direction from inside the brush. Dog is oblivious, sniffing, so I have to yank him away and start running towards the house. Get inside, lock everything, turn the kitchen light off and stare out the window. Something is moving in the brush right next to where we were standing, but it won't exit into the yard. Watching for another 20 minutes and can't see anything. Next day, the dog wakes me up before work. We go for a walk again towards the brush, and I don't see anything strange. Turn around time to get ready as I'm nearing the house. Realize there's a big wet outline of condensation on my back window pane, like somebody tall was standing right next to the window, breathing, slobbering, spitting with their mouth open before sunrise for a long time, and viscous, discolored spit dripping down from the outline of the head's height. Tell my neighbor, but he has no cameras. Nobody does. See the outline at my back window once more about a week later, but never able to catch whoever it was. It's a bit unnerving because we're 15 minutes from any road, and we don't have valuables, so it seems malicious. Cameras up now, so that man will be mulch if he ever trespasses again.
Be me. Going through a bad breakup with girlfriend of 4 years. Meet alt girl on dating app. We meet. Feel intoxicated when I'm with her, but not in a good way. She brings out my worst qualities. Life starts to feel dark and spiritually vacant. We go to the local haunted cemetery. She says she can see the spirits. Starts waltzing around like she's in Wonderland. Later on, she starts telling me strange things. Says she's been visited by a spirit since she was a kid that tells her she's going to die at a certain age. Tell her that's silly. She goes cold serious and says she's not lying. It's real. One night we're hanging out drinking. She starts convulsing and says, "Your brother is going to die next year." She then projectile vomits like a fire hydrant and passes out. In the morning, tell her to reverse the curse. She doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm serious. Just reverse the curse. Okay, I reverse the curse. Eventually snap out of it and stop talking to her. Go full monk mode. A year goes by, and I'm curious to see how she's doing. Text her. No response. A few more months go by, and I think it's weird she never responded. She was really into me. Google her name. First thing that pops up is her obituary and a news article about her dying in a house fire. She was the only person who died. She died the same day she told me she would die. This convinced me that witches, succubi or whatever you want to call them, are real. She was tapped into something evil, and if you ever meet someone like this, get away from them.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.